If you're conducting your research, one of the terms that you would come across is the delimitation of a study. And this is a term that usually confuses most students who are new to research. When you read their narrative under the delimitation of the study, you would realize that they are actually discussing about the constraints and the challenges that they faced whilst conducting the research. When you do this, you are actually discussing about the limitation of the study, which has to do with the constraints and the challenges that you faced whilst conducting the study. So what then is the limitation of a study? When we talk about the limitation, it has to do with the choices that I make as a researcher to narrow the scope of the study. And it reflects what I will cover in my study and what I will not cover based on my decisions as a researcher. So for instance, a delimitation of a study can be a geographical boundary that I set for myself. So let's say, for instance, I have the chance to study the whole of Ghana, but I will decide to go with a certain geographical location. It can be a district, it can be a city, it can be a town. So that is a boundary that I have set for myself as a researcher. So that becomes a delimitation. Another delimitation can be a population focus. So let's say, for instance, I have the chance to study a very large population, but I would decide to go with a population with a certain characteristics. So let's say I decide to study a youth. So that becomes a constraint that I set for myself as a researcher. And another delimitation can be the variables of focus. So when I check my objective, I'm going with certain variables that I want to study. So that becomes a delimitation. Another delimitation can also be a theory that you choose. So though you had a chance to choose some theories, you decided to go with a specific theory or some theories to discuss. That becomes another delimitation of your study. So I believe the difference is now clear. So when you talk about delimitation, the choices that you are making as a researcher. So next time, don't confuse them with the challenges that you are facing as a researcher. So I hope you found this one useful. See you in the next one.